How's it going, YouTube? Got FourthStarTCG here, and today we're not doing an info video, we're doing some more cards. So today I'm just showing off some of the cards that I've purchased over the past, I'd say probably month or so. Got some really cool stuff, some graded cards, some ungraded cards, lots of really awesome stuff, and I'm extremely happy to add to my collection. So, without any further ado, let's kick it off with some of the cards that I purchased that I'm not going to be grading right away. These all have very small issues. Like, let's take this Beedrill, for example. Let's take a look at it real quick. This Beedrill has, like, the very tiniest, you can see a little bit of it there. Just the very tiniest bit of whitening on the top there. So something like that, that's something that I won't grade right away. I don't doubt that it could possibly score the 10. Something like that amount of whitening, such a small thing. It's basically factory issues. That I don't doubt it could score the 10, but I don't want to send it in right away. Just in case. I think I have a Beedrill off at PSA now. And if it scores a 10, then there's really no reason to submit this one. So that's sort of the stuff that's wrong with these cards. They're all mint, but like 9, 10 edge mint. And that's why I won't be submitting them. Got this Vileplume here. I'm loving these Delta Species Holos. The more I pick them up, the more I just love the artwork. Let's zoom in there on that Vileplume. So nice, so cool. Beautiful Mitsuhiro Rita artwork there. A first edition Latios EX. Can't really see him covering up the first edition here. I picked this up just because the centering looked fairly good for first edition Dragon Frontiers. It is still a bit off. The left border bigger than the right, the top border bigger than the bottom. But something like this for Dragon Frontiers, really not that bad. This does have, I think, a little nick on the bottom there. You can see that just right where my middle finger is there. So I won't be submitting that to PSA. Picked up a Nidoking Holo from Dragon Frontiers. This one's really nice. I have a friend, Jeremy. He's been looking for a Nidoking in a 10, so I grabbed this just to see if it would be mint enough. Unfortunately, it looks like it's not. There's like the tiniest little nick on the top. Right about there where my thumb is. It's hard to see. I don't know if I can get the light to catch it. Not really. But trust me, there's a nick. Doubt it would get a 10 just because of that. So, unfortunately, did not hit on the Nidoking, but still a very cool card to have in the collection as mint. Picked up these two play promos. These are the Groudon and Kyogre. They're part of the set with the Rayquaza. I have these in PSA 10 already, but they're such beautiful cards. Really like the style of artwork that's pretty cohesive here, sort of with the white swirl in the background. But unfortunately, these are not mint, or gem mint. They're certainly mint. And the same is true with this World Champions Pack, first edition Walrein EX. Let's see what we got on the back here. Yeah. Just another very tiny thing in the corner where my finger is. Would probably bring it down to a 9. So those are some of the cards that I picked up that I am not intending on grading at the moment. But I do have a bunch that I picked up. Nice solid stack that will be going off to PSA hopefully at some point before the end of the summer. I do have the cards that I submitted back in March. They're still at PSA. And sort of that's fairly standard these days with PSA increasing their turnaround times. So we got a Credilli. This is just a beautiful, beautiful card. Love the artwork. Again, just the artwork is so amazing. I think the artwork on some of the Delta Holos is better than the EX cards, just because the artists have more freedom on the Holos. The EXs they have to design with the sort of the Galaxy Holo pattern in mind. But yeah, that Credilli is just so cool. I think that's the coolest Credilli artwork you'll ever see, to be honest. Picked up a Salamence first edition holo. Love the artwork on this. You'll see this card again in this stack, I'll tell you. But man, just beautiful. This is very mint. And to love sending that off to PSA. I think I have one off there right now, but still good to get another one off. This Togetic. So this is a first edition Dragon Frontiers card. Again, these are super hard to find in mint condition. And the biggest issue with these is the centering. You can kind of see here that this card is off. Every first edition Japanese Dragon Frontiers card is off. That's just a fact of life. It's really the degree to which it is off that makes a difference here. So I think this is sort of right on the border of PSA 10 quality. The border at the top is obviously larger than the border at the bottom. The border on the right obviously larger than the border on the left. But I still think it's within the parameters, and it's, you know, fairly mint on the back here. So I think this is worthy of sending into PSA, especially as a card that I don't have in my collection yet. Really hoping that this comes back with a 10 eventually. But, you know, if it doesn't, that's understandable, as first edition Dragon Frontiers is just ridiculous with its grading difficulty due to that centering. Because, of course, and here's this Crobat, not really much to write home about here. Beautiful artwork as usual. I think I have this card off in a submission right now. But yeah, so first edition Dragon Frontiers, that's probably, I think, one of the hardest Japanese sets to grade just because of that centering issue. There's this beautiful Mitsuhiro Arita Tyranitar artwork, just amazing. You'll see this card again in that stack. But as I was saying, first edition Dragon Frontiers, I'll just show off the rest of the cards as I talk. Really hard to grade because first you have to find a card that's, you know, survived, 10 years in Japan now, in perfectly mint condition. No issues, nothing wrong with it. And then you have to find maybe the 5 to 10% that are well centered. And that's just incredibly hard. So there's that beautiful Rayquaza. So it just sort of adds another layer of difficulty. Whereas most cards, you know, most Japanese cards, you find a mint copy, fairly likely you're going to score a 10. Not the same with Dragon Frontiers, first edition Dragon Frontiers especially. So that's it for the Japanese Delta Holos. I want to show off this beautiful Gyarados again. This is probably one of my top artworks on a Pokemon card ever. I think I have 2 of them off at PSA now, but I think they both had very tiny issues that may lead to them not getting 10s. Got some ultra shiny stuff here. Oranguru. I'm sure ultra shiny is something you guys have seen a lot of. Very popular with the grading community lately. Pheromosa there. This is a nice one. Charmeleon. Got some more ultra shiny coming in. Some GXs. These are just these sort of shiny S cards. Really excited for Hidden Fates. I think that's going to be interesting. The English version of GX Ultra Shiny. Hopefully we'll see the same level of card quality, and 10s will be fairly easy to come by. Here's another beautiful card. I really don't collect the tag teams, or really anything in the modern Sun and Moon GX era. Very specific cards I will, but the artwork on the special art tag team GXs is like what we've been hoping for all along. So this is just insane artwork, and then you've got that beautiful hollow pattern there, that raised artwork pattern. If you can see that in the light there, it is just amazing. So that's something that I really like. I think this is sort of the spiritual successor to the XY, black and white XYR full arts, but better in a lot of ways. So really hoping they continue this trend with the Sword and Shield. I don't know if they'll stick to GX Pokemon or what. But, so, next up, a nice big stack of graded cards to show off. So first up, got a PSA 10 Gem Mint Mega Gallade EX from Roaring Skies. This card I've always wanted in a 10, but never sort of found the perfect perfect like storm, having a nice copy up for auction with, you know, fair price and not from a ridiculously shill bidding seller. So this finally hit all those boxes. I was able to pick it up for a fairly reasonable price. I think I paid about $30 total for it. So really nice on the back. No issues there. There's some slight issues. You can kind of see that there's like some flecks of color missing at the top. And there's, I think, like some little texture issues on the side as well. But those are factory issues, and there is a tolerance for factory issues with PSA 10s. So a lot of people will look at stuff like that and say, you know, why is it a 10? Shouldn't be a 10. They expect 10s to be perfect. That's not the case. There can be some small issues with PSA 10s. They're not BGS 10s, but BGS 10s have their own set of issues. We'll go into that probably in one of my informational videos. Reverse Holo Latios from EX Holland Phantoms. I don't know, I think I won this for like some ridiculous price a while back. I think I won it like last summer, or maybe over the winter, but I never was able to show it off. This is just beautiful. Really love it. This is a card that I've been trying to get since 2017. But again, the Perfect Storm never came up until I got this one from PWCC in their last round of auctions. Gem Mint 10 Darkrai Full Art from Burning Shadows. I think I paid like 20 something for this, which was really annoying because they had two of them up, and this one, which I bid on, went for like 25-ish, and then the next one went for $6.50, like $6.50, which was kind of hilarious. Next up, I have two absolutely beautiful cards. I have Groudon and Kyogre EX Full Art from Dark Explorers, both graded the Gem Mint 10 grade. This is going to be the thumbnail right here, I guarantee you that. These cards are just amazing. Really happy to add these to my PSA 10 Full Art collection. Again, the black and white and XY full arts are just the best. These are pretty good examples of Dark Explorers cards. There are some issues. As you can see, this has like the tiniest little factory nicks here at the top. But all of them are very small and they're factory. So it's like, how do I explain factory issues and factory dents? When you get sort of more, when you have years of experience in looking at cards and grading cards, you can kind of tell what issues are small enough that you can tell that they come from the factory, like factory cutting process, whether the blades are sharp enough or whatever, or or they come from actual wear. Like I think there's one, I think on the Latios that I have that I'm not going to grade. Yeah, I know there's one card here where there's something that is fairly clear wear. Yeah, here it is. So on this Groudon, in this corner here, I don't know if you guys can even see it, but it's sort of right there in that corner, and that's obvious wear. Like right where my thumb is right there, that's obvious wear. So that comes from, you know, someone, you know, messing with the card or taking it out of a sleeve, putting it back in a sleeve or something, and causing wear to the card. Stuff like what you see on a lot of full arts that come straight from the pack that are smaller than sort of like the standard English nicks and dings you get on cards. Yeah, I'm just sort of looking through my English cards here. Yeah, I think I got a good example here. So here's a Swellow, just a random holographic Swellow. And in this corner, we have, I think the light's reflecting off of it a bit there, so that's, you can kind of, that's sort of an issue there. But in this corner, you've got that little speck of white there. That's factory. That's not caused by anyone doing anything. And in here, right there, that's wear. So that's from me keeping this unsleeved on my desk, and it just sort of banging around. So it's size, it's issues that, you know, once you get a more attuned eye to grading, you can look at it more critically. Got a Latios Holo from Hollow Phantoms. The same artwork as I had the reverse in. I have two of these. I don't know if they're right here in this stack of PSA graded cards. Yeah, here they are. So I had two of these in one of my last PSA submissions, and they both came back 9s. I had a first edition and an unlimited, so I'm happy to be able to grab this one in a 10. I think it was for a reasonable enough price, you know, $25-30 or something, that I was sort of content with paying that instead of cracking and resubmitting or going through the process of finding another mint one. Got a Latios from Delta Species. More English cards here. As I said, I'm really liking the Delta Species holo artwork. And these English ones are selling for really reasonable prices. Somewhere in the neighborhood of, you know, $20, $20-30. Sometimes the English ones will sell for even less than the Japanese ones. But like this was one of the first cards I bought when I was getting back into the hobby. As I was just really excited to find it. So that's a lot of fun to now be getting those in mint condition. Next up we have, as I mentioned before, Gem Mint 10 Salamence Holo from Delta Species. This card was the, like, sort of not this specific graded card, but this Salamence card was the first one that I purchased as a graded card. It was a PSA 9 from Hisoka 107. So that card's never going to leave my collection, but it is nice to finally get the grade upgrade to a PSA 10. There is an issue. This card is in a cracked PSA case. As you can see here, there's an issue with that. So that's something that I will eventually get fixed. But at this point, like, I have no intentions of selling this card. That small crack there really doesn't bother me. It would bother some people, doesn't bother me. So I'm totally fine with keeping this card as it is for a little bit. And last but not least, told you you'd see the card again. Here is a Tyranitar from Holland Research Tower with the Gem Mint 10 grade. Really like this artwork. Like, if we can just take a look at it there. Man, that is beautiful. So, really love this card. Really happy to grade it or receive it in a PSA 10. I did purchase this card. I did not grade it myself. But hopefully in that stack we'll have some cards that come back PSA 10. So hoping to get my PSA returns that I sent back in March back sometime in the next month or so. That would be nice. But hopefully I'll be able to get some more cards that are willing or able to be graded, willing and able to be graded, and I'll have a PSA submission video for you guys coming in the near future. So thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and stick around for more videos.